Okay, I think we're live, huh? I hear some echoing noise.
I think it's working.
Okay, perfect. Are we live on X as well? Yeah, I think we're good. Perfect. I guess then we can get started here. Awesome. B, can you go ahead and pull up my screen? Perfect. Yeah, so let's get started. So, welcome everyone to the first workshop of the Solana Super Game Jam. I'm just going to take a few minutes here before I give it off to the speakers to do a quick introduction. Yeah, my name is Karthik, and this is Ipo, and then we have our two workshop hosts as well who will be helping out this entire week with the fundamentals of game design. So if you have any questions during this or after, feel free to drop them into the Discord and we'll get you, sorted. So let's just jump right into it. So this is the.
Welcome everyone to the first
Oh, I
workshop
hear some echo. If you guys can mute your, mics, please. Perfect. So this is the second Solana Super Game Jam, and it's one of the. It was a great event last year. So last time we did it in Vietnam and Japan, and this time we're scaling it up to all of APAC. It's not just APAC, so if you are a global team as well, you can participate. You just need to have one APAC member. And we put all the participation guidelines actually in a recent tweet, so you can see them on Super Team Vietnam. So the event will go from July 14th to August 11th. So this is the official kickoff where you can start building and forming teams. So Ebo has done a great job of getting the Discord started. We also have a Telegram group for if you need anything like really quickly. But the Discord is where you'll find almost all the information, all the community members. There's a bunch of voice chats in there, so feel free to utilize those to have different meetings with your teams, as well as just to meet other builders as well. So why gaming on Solana? Well, Solana leads on a lot of metrics. The most important is total new wallets year to date. This one I saw it a few weeks ago. I was super impressed with over 600 million new wallets created, as well as it has very deep liquidity, a great developer experience, and lots of builders. Right. So that's why we believe that Solana will be the chain for gaming. And we want to use this game jam to onboard as many teams as possible. Maybe they're new to Web3, or maybe you guys have been building in Web3 for a while, right? So we're really excited to see you guys and see, what you guys submit. So as far as the timeline goes, we're going to be, so the registration has been ongoing for a few weeks now. Now we're kicking off the educational program with online workshops, mentorship, and then the build period, which is the span of the entire hackathon, will be from July 14th, which is today, and then 4 weeks from now, August 11th. After the game jam is done, we'll have a few days of demos, and then we'll announce the winners, and then the winners will be put into a incubation period so that we can help you guys succeed. This game jam is like nicely positioned because the recent Coliseum just ended. We just had the mobile seeker hackathon kickoff. So what you're probably going to see is if you start building now, you can submit it to the game jam and then keep refining it towards the next Coliseum as well, towards the end of the year. And I'm sure there will be many more gaming related activations in between as well to help you guys take your guys' projects from 0 to 100. So the curriculum today, so this is week 1, and it's going to be the fundamentals of game design. We're going to be going through 5 different lectures here. Today's is going to be Game Design 101, and we have these awesome hosts, Natron and Nguyen Tien, who will be speaking today on this topic. They're from GNL and Umar Gameworks, so I'll let them do an introduction after these slides, and then they'll jump into the next workshop. But essentially, this week 1 is just going to be an overview of game design. And then at the end of the week, we're going to have Hugh from Super Team Vietnam, the lead, give a Solana 101 lecture on game development. So these are the organizers: Super Team Vietnam, Honeycomb Protocol, and Send Arcade. If you have any questions, please reach out to any of us. We're here in the Discord. We're here on Telegram, also on Twitter. You can reach out to any of us, and we'll get to you as fast as we can. So these are the tracks that we have for this game jam. So first place prize, which is going to be the main track, that's just the overall best. And then we have four tracks for actual different categories, right? So the first one is social fi. And then the next one is multiplayer and PvP style games, then role playing games, story based. And then last one is bite sized gaming. And I want to say, so we do have 50K in prize money. The sponsors for this are Solana Foundation, Play Solana, and also Civic. So we'll be giving out more information on this in the Discord here soon, as well as all the information for their tools so that you can also integrate it. Just a quick overview, Solana Foundation is obviously, Solana itself. And then Play Solana is a gaming device actually on Solana, and they have a Unity SDK that you guys can integrate. And then Civic has embedded wallets. So, what does embedded wallets mean? It means that if you're building a game, you don't have to have the user actually create a new wallet every time. They can just register via email, and it makes the wallet in the background. So it makes like the user experience really well. So I would highly recommend you guys check out all of the sponsors, SDKs, and tools that are available, as well as check out like some of the Honeycomb Protocol stuff if it's useful, as well as all the Send Arcade material as well. So thank you guys, and see you guys on Solana. So that'll be it for the introduction. And now I'm going to give it over to Ipo and Natron and New and Tian as well to continue on. Hey B, are you there? Okay, cool. Yeah, I can see the screen. Cool. Yeah. So if you guys want to get started with the first workshop and the introductions, please go ahead. I think you guys are muted.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Karek, for introducing us. Hi, everyone. My name is Nyachan, and I'm the founder of Uma Game Works. I think that by now I have like around 7 or 8 years of experience in game design, and I also study game design in the US. And here's my partner, Tian. He's the founder of GNL or Games Nyalam, which is an educational website that teach everyone how to make game about game design. Tian, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Tin Nguyen, and together with Nhật Trân, we will help you gain a better understanding of how to make games.
Okay. So let's get started.
Let's get
Um,
started.
mhm. So, in the scope of this game jam, there will be two documents that you will need to pay attention to. The first one is the GDD guide. GDD is short for game design document, and the second one is the handbook, which is some helpful info about game design that we think that might be helpful for you during your work on when you're working on the GDD. One of the things about this game jam is that the GD guide is actually like a template, and you have to follow the template to get the full point for the judging criteria. So there will be different fields in the GD that you have to fill in it, and for the next few slides, I will walk you through the GD guide. It is not like too restricting. It is still something that you can freely to build upon, but it is like a practical blueprint for structuring and communicating your game's vision, features, and development plan, so that we can all understand what is your game design and what is your plan with the game. And since everyone will fill in the same template, everyone will have the same feel, so that it will be easier for us to better judge um, is your game is a good one or a bad one. Because I know that sometimes there are teams with a very great idea, but they are not like the best in how they communicate their idea, and so they get lost. They lose to like a team with a better presentation, but maybe not as good an idea as their team is. So this will kind of like even the playing field for everyone. And for the second part, for the handbook, there will be some helpful hint for you to fill in the GD. Okay, so let's get started with the GD guide or template. In the template, so for the first part, you have to introduce your game. In order to introduce your game, you will have to first write an overview of the game, the core loop of the game, the feature list, and then the roadmap. So, okay, for the introduction, uh, you have to tell us what the game is about, what is the setting of the game, and give us a high-level overview of what will the player do. Think of this like an elevator pitch, like you have 2 or 3 minutes to talk to us. Maybe write something like I don't know, 5 to 10 sentences max, so that we can understand what is your game is about, what is the hook of your game, what will the player do, and it is worth investing in your game. For team and backstory, then tell us about like your team, like what's the game team, what is the backstory? It is like a fantasy game, a sci-fi game, a noir punk game, anything you want to talk about, like what is the world will be, what is the environment will be, what are the races, everything. And for the genre, then yeah, it is also very important. Tell us about the genre of the game and give us some example of other similar games. For example, if you want to make something like um, Mario, right? Then you say that the genre is platformer, and there will be some other similar games to Mario, like Sonic or Rayman, things like that, so that we can better understand what is your game will be, and we can kind of like map how you talk about the game with how we envision your game is gonna be. Okay, and for the one of the most important part in the overview is the game fantasy. So it will be like what will the player feel like when they're playing the game. And to understand more, then you can look at the handbook. We provide a pretty comprehensive example in the handbook if you want to know more. But overall, the game fantasy is more about what will the player feel like. Like, for example, when in Sonic, right, you gotta go fast. That is the tagline of the game, and that is what the game wants the player feel. So you have to keep moving and moving and moving so that you can go as fast as possible. You can feel the speed. That is the fantasy of Sonic. And next, please talk about the goal of the game. So for the goal of the game, the first thing that will come to mind to everyone is the long-term goal, which is like what is the goal of the game on the box? Like save the princess, or like become the best Pokemon trainers out there, or collect all the monsters. That is the goal of the game. And for and to achieve that long-term goal, what are the medium-term goals that you can do? For example, like for the medium-term goals, you have to beat all of the all the gym trainers. Okay, so that is the medium-term goal. And what is the short-term goal? The short-term goal is how you achieve those goals so that you can achieve the medium-term goal. What is the purpose of the player's moment-to-moment gameplay? For example, like I have to catch this Pokemon so that I can have this Pokemon that can counter this gym trainer. I have to choose which move to use so that I can win this battle against this guy. Things like that. So short-term goal, something that you want to do in the next like 5 to 10 or 20 seconds. Medium-term goals are mostly like what is your goal of the next 5 minutes, 30 minutes, or like this session. And the long-term goals are what is the goal of the game. Like after you've done everything with the game, what are you hoping to achieve? And for the GD template, we also need you to talk about your core loop. So this is like a core loop that is very simple, very like standard for all the games. So you do something and then you get some reward, and then with that reward you do some investment so that you can do something better, so that you can gain more reward, so that you can invest into better actions, so that you can gain more reward, and then you can so they can invest more, and it goes on and on and on and on. So, for example, in Clash of Clans, I hope that everyone knows Clash of Clans. There will be the core loop. The core loop of Clash of Clans is first you have some fuel, right? You have some mine, some elixir mine, and then after a while, you can collect elixir and you can collect coins. And what do you do with those resources? You use them to build more mines. You can use them to upgrade your mines. You can use them to upgrade your to build more troops, and then you can use the troops to do the battle. And with the battle, then you can earn more coins and you can earn ranking. And when you earn ranking, then you can upgrade your town hall. And when you can upgrade your town hall, then you can build more mines. You can build more structure, which gives you more resources, so that you can build even more troops and upgrade the might even more. So that is like the core loop of Clash of Clans. If you want to research more about other games, then you can go to Google and then search game name of the game plus core loop. There will be, I think, like a lot of the like most popular games. There will be some analysis, some article on someone that will analyze the core loop of the game, and then you can use that as like a reference to work on your game if your game is like based on some other game, which I think is a good thing because like it is helpful to have inspiration from somewhere. Okay, and for the next part is the feature list. So this will be like the meat of the game design document. Most of the stuff that you write in the GD will be in this part, the feature list. So there there can be multiple features in your game, and each features will have their own four sections. The first section is the introduction. So tell us about what is the feature is about, and one of the most important thing is what is the purpose of this feature. It is like very important because we want to know why you are designing this feature, and if we know how why you design these features, then we can understand how will these features fit into like the overall structure of the game. How will this feature support the goal of the game? How will these features support the fantasy of the game? To learn more about the feature list, then you can also refer to the template because in the document we provide pretty comprehensive example in there. And for the presentation, then we need you to draw something about the UI because if you only write text, then it would be pretty hard to imagine, right? So the app of our choice would be Figma, but if you use other app to draw your UI, then it's fine too. But I think Figma is the best because you not only that you can export into images, you can also link us to the Figma so we can see like your wireframe or your UI design in full resolution, which is better, I think, compared to like exporting into an image and embed it into the Word document, which will severely downgrade the quality of the image. And furthermore, when you work with Figma, then you can also make the prototype, something like a clickable prototype, right? And it is easier for us to understand like the flow of your feature if we can have something to click on, so that we can see, okay, I can click on this and I click on this to do what. So it is like a lot easier for us to understand. If you export the images and embed it in the document, then it would be very great if you can write the caption for the images so that we can understand what are you trying to talk about within the image. For the third part is the flow chart. So for the flow chart, we want something. It is not too complex. It is just some simple flow chart so we can understand like how will this feature work, like what are like the breaking points of these features, and what will the player do, what will the system do, how will the player interact with the system, stuff like that. So we can understand more about like the player interaction model between the players and the game. And for the last part are the mechanics. So these will be the small mechanics that comprise of your feature. So each feature will have several mechanics, right? And those mechanics those will be written down here like in detail. So for example, you make a racing game, right? And then you have like a feature called race, which is well self-explanatory for a racing game. And of course, you can have other features like you can mod your car, you can paint your car, you can trade your car, things like that. But like the race is the most important thing. And then in the race section, in the race feature, please write down about something like, for example, does the car need a pit stop because there'll be a fuel gauge, and if the fuel goes reach zero, then the cars can't run anymore, something like that. So you have to write those details in the mechanic so that we can understand that, oh, okay, like during the race, what are the things that the player can do, what are the things that the player has to manage, how those things that the player has to manage and do, how will they work together. Okay, so for the last part of the template, that is a roadmap. Um, so for the roadmap, um, if there can be your game can have like several phases, or like your game can only have one phase, that's fine. Many games only have one phase, especially like we are working in like a game jam environment, right? There's not a lot of time to work on. But if you do have a plan to expand the game later down the line, like after this game jam, then please also note down here so that we can understand like how you will realize from this idea to like something real that we can play later. But you don't need to spend too much effort on the roadmap. Just make sure that your core gameplay is solid. We just want to see like what is the plan with your game, and how will you scoping things, because one I think that one of the most important thing during the planning phase of game development is that we have to plan. Yeah, like of course when during the planning phase you have to plan, but to make like a game a reality, then we have to plan well so that there won't be scope creep, so that like the game can be released like on time with like within like a timely manner, and you guys don't burn all the cash trying to implement everything, and then the game couldn't be out, and the game is not finished, and you run out of cash, and that would be very sad because it would be a shame if all those work were thrown away, right? So if you have like a concrete plan, then it will be easier for you to manage what do you need to do to get your game to the finish line, and this and like that it will be something like more realistic, and that is like also like the purpose of this game jam so that we can have more games on the Solana chain. Okay, so I think that's it for the GDD template. The next part will be the handbook, and I will hand it over to you, Tian.
Thank you, Nhật for the great talk about the game design document template. My name is Tiến Nguyễn. I'm going to continue by helping you understand more about the handbook. The link to the handbook and game design document templates has already been shared to everyone. If you can, please open the handbook now and let's explore it together. This version of the handbook talks about 5 big problems you may face when writing a game design document. The details and examples are already in the handbook, so you can understand most parts just by reading it. But today, I want to explain some parts that are important but easy to get wrong. We will go through them one by one. First, the MDA framework. That's the heart of the game. Second, the game fantasy, the purpose of the game. Third, the core loop. Fourth, the goal. And last, the flow chart, how things connect. Let's begin with the first one, please. MDA framework. Next slide, please. MDA is often described like this: mechanics create dynamics, and dynamic create aesthetic. Let's take an example. Let's say you have a game with monsters. You create a mechanic. When you defeat a monster, you will get experience point. Then what happens? Players may look for the best farming spot, a place where many monsters appear. And if a player finds a secret spot, they may feel special, like they are the only one who know about it. Most of us, as a game designers, often think of MDA in a simple one-way model. Mechanics create dynamics and create aesthetics. That's easy to understand. But if we want to make a game that easy to play and also hard to stop, we need to look deeper into the MDA model. In reality, our game looks more like this. Mechanics, dynamic, and aesthetic are not in a straight line. They overlap. One dynamic can create from many mechanics, and one aesthetic can come from many dynamic. From the player side, to feel a certain aesthetic, for example, a strong sense of achievement, they may need help from many mechanics. Let's say the player defeats a very hard boss. That feeling only happens because of many mechanics: the map design, the character abilities, the boss behavior, and even input control. From the developer side, just adding new mechanics is not always a good thing, because one mechanic can create many dynamics, and some expect, some not. You give the player a pair of scissors. Maybe they cut, maybe they stop, maybe they use it like a hammer. Each dynamic can lead into a different aesthetic experience. It's very hard to control. So here's my advice: try listing out all the mechanics, dynamic, and aesthetics in your game. Adding one mechanic is easy, but if you don't know what it does to the system, it's also very easy to break your whole game. About the core loop, Nyet already explained that part earlier. So now I will move on to the game fantasy. Besides, Nyet already mentioned it above, but this is in the handbook. Uh, Game fantasy is about the feeling, the powerful image that come down to your mind when you think about the game. It could be that moment when you get a pentakill and everyone is watching you. It could be the first time you hit bingo and win a lot of gold. Or maybe it's time when you discover a new combo for your character. You can think of game fantasy as lasting impression the game leaves in player heart. It's the thing you want the game to show up the most. What is that for your game? Once you can answer this question, the whole MDA system we talked about earlier will become much more clear. You will start to feel that every mechanic in your game has their real reason to exist. So now we've gone through two important parts in the handbook, MDA and fantasy. The next two parts will be more easier. Now, in game design document section, Nhật has already briefly mentioned about the goal. In this section, I like to add a bit more about it in the handbook. I know some parts are mentioned repeatedly, but they are usually quite important, right? In real life or at work, short-term goals help us reach long-term goals, reduce pressure, and help us avoid procrastination. In game, goals do the same. They help players stay motivated and slowly improve their skills step by step. Nowadays, many games have a list of missions, right? Like defeat 10 snails, spend 100 gold, win 5 match. They're example of game goal. Now, look at this image from Mario Bros. I can break it down like this. Short-term goal is eat a mushroom, jump into a pipe, break some bridge. Medium is complete the level, and long-term goal is beat the final boss. How you define short, medium, or long depends on your game. But the key idea is the long-term goal should be reached by going through short and medium goals. And now the final part is flowchart. Flowchart in game design document is mostly used to show the basic logic of a game system, a feature, or maybe game economy. You don't need to explain everything. If this, then that condition, just keep it simple. Just show the main flow, like the image you can see right now, and that's it. There are final notes about writing a game design document and why you reading the handbook. Uh, Thank you so much for staying with us until now. Uh, so we will move on to the Q&A session. If you have any question or anything unclear about the game design template or the handbook, please feel free to ask, or you can also post them on the Discord server. Yeah. Hey, Ipo, some
Yeah, hey guys, if anyone have any question or like you don't have to.
Hey guys, if anyone have any question or like you don't have to. If anyone have any question or like
Okay, we have one question. In terms of the flow chart, what do you want those
okay,
to show?
we have one question. In
Ibo, you
terms
have
of
some uh, echoing in your side. Yeah, I think the question was on the flowchart. What do you want us to show, or what do you want the teams to show on the flowchart?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, in terms of flowchart, we want to understand how will the players will interact with the game. So if the player do something right, and if they have resources, and what can they do? If they don't have enough resources, then what can they do? Or what will the game state will be? So for example, something like the player move right, and then the player touch the Goomba, and then so the game will check like if the player have enough life, then they can restart the level, but if they don't have enough life, then it will be a game over, things like that. So we want to understand when the player interact with something, what will be the state of the game will be when that happens. Does that answer the question for you?
in flowchart, we just want to show the basic logic of a thing. If you check the pet if it's hungry or not,
So I
then
see a
we
question here
yeah.
like, do I need to write exact timing information on the roadmap? So the roadmap is different. The roadmap is for like the Solana Solana GameJam. So you need like a project with like connection to blockchain, and then the GDD is like a side track, like a local track for from Super Team Vietnam. And so like it in the final submission is all like in a bow track will be in August 11. Uh, and and then we'll give reward to the GDD, but like the project of the Solana Super Game Jam will like, like if they win they will continue with the accelerator program.
So for the exact timing, then we don't need like the timing, but we need to understand more about what is the amount of content that you will put in the game, so that we can understand more about like the scope of the work and what is like your plan on how will you like evaluate the game, because like at each milestone most of the time they can be a build, right? And then you can use that build to play test your game. So we want to see like what is your plan to play testing the game, so that you can get what is like the player feedback and stuff like that, and what is like how much of the in the amount of like content or asset, like how many monsters will be in the game, how many maps are there will be in the game, something like that. So we can better understand like what is your plan of like actually like completing the game. So the timeline, it is something that is not have to be like 100% perfect yet, but for the amount of work that put into it, then we want it to be something that like a pretty good, like in the pretty good ballpark, so that we can understand okay what is your estimation will look like.
Another question is like, so game theory is just as important as build a game? So
Yeah, do you want to answer this question?
I think the game theory is as important as you can build a game. You need to build a game based on your skills. Like if your team cannot build a game that game design push to your team, that is hard to complete that game. But so I think you need to find a balance between the game theory you want to add into your game and how and can you do it, can you finish the game. So I think uh, they are the same, they are important, they both.
Yeah, so I think like game design document is similar to like a script in the movie. So with like a bad script you will have like bad movie, right? But if you have like a good script but without like a good crew, like good actors, good directors, then it can also turn into like a horrible movie. So yeah, similar to what Tian said, game design document and how you build it is both important. And you can think of game design document as like a script, like a blueprint of how you will build the game. That will be like the backbone of the game. But if you don't have like the skill to actually make that game, then that game might not turn out to be very good too, and vice versa.
So you say like it's funny because you guys mentioned the movie script. So what if like the movie is so what to say like I think like the Room movie, like the movie is so bad but like it becomes so good. Is that possible in gaming? Like if your script like so bad or like sometimes everything is wrong but like somehow it like become viral and like you can be success.
Yeah, I think that sometimes it can work too. Like there's sometimes that like you have like a pretty horrible game design document, but then during like the course of your work, you make a lot of you do a lot of play test, right? So at first you make something that is not very good, but then you play test it and then you change it on the go, and then at the end it comes out to be something like pretty good. So I think that there can be something like that, but yeah, despite like everything like between the design comment or like the game making skill, I think like the most important thing is play testing, because at the end the one that will play your game will be your players, right? And what is like the best way to receive feedback from the players? You have to do the play test, and if the more play tests that you do, then the more feedback you can get from a lot of people, and that's how you understand more about your game, and that's how you continuously make your game better for everyone.
Also, while you play testing, you can see whether the game fantasy is working as intended. Hmm?
New question is we have more than core concept in the GDD template. So my question doesn't ask only about the core concept. It's about all the other thing too. Like we can include more flowchart. I'm not sure I understand this question really.
I think that like you can just freely to add more flowchart into other parts if you need to. Like if you think that flowchart would be like the best way to explain what is your idea, and that's how you want to use it to get your point across, then I think sure, yeah, just use more flowchart. It's fine. It's just like we need some flowchart in the feature section, but in other section you can also include flowchart too if that help you. Okay, great. Glad that can clear up. Is there any other questions? I think that's it for now.
Okay, guys. I think that's the end of this workshop then. It seems like there's no more questions, so we can close it out here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And then tomorrow at the same time, 9 p.m. Vietnam, we'll have another day 2 of the workshop, which will be the continuation.
Okay, thank you everyone. Bye bye.
Thank everyone. Bye.